In my opinion, I think Deontay Wilder's dumb for firing Mark Breland. He fired Mark Breland because he was so butthurt that Mark Breland threw in the towel. All right? That's the only excuse as to why he fired Mark Breland. Think about that. He fired a guy because the guy cared enough to stop the fight because he didn't want his fighter to keep receiving punishment, right? I mean, your job as a coach, boxing coach, is to protect your fighter from himself sometimes. And recently, this past year, we've had a lot of tragedy in the world of boxing. Right? Boxers have passed away. Matter of fact, last year, 2 boxers passed away because their coaches didn't stop the fight, and the fight went on and went on and went on when it should have been stopped. Maybe Mark Breland had this in his mind, and he thought, and when he saw you taking a beating, because Deontay Wilder was defenseless. He was just in there. He was a punching bag. By the time Mark Breland threw in that towel, Deontay Wilder was a punching bag. All right, he was literally just there to be hit. The right hand was not working at all anymore, and he was just running away from Tyson Fury. Mark Breland did the right thing to throw in that towel because he cared about you, Deontay Wilder. He didn't want you to receive permanent damage. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look at the state of your face by the time Mark Breland threw in the towel. You were busted up all beyond belief. You were busted. Your whole face was busted up. Had Mark Breland not thrown that towel, guess what? You would have just continued to get beaten up, and eventually the referee would have jumped in because the referee himself, Kenny Bayless, had come out and he said that guess what? He was so close to stopping that fight, so the fight would have stopped anyway. And you have the nerve to fire your assistant trainer, whatever he is. I don't know, because Deontay Wilder has like 2 trainers. I know that Dea'S is also like his part-time trainer. They're both like his trainers, Dea'S and Mark Breland. It's very stupid of Deontay Wilder to fire a guy because he was trying to protect him. That's how butthurt Deontay Wilder became when he lost to Tyson Fury. That's how butthurt that he fucking fired a guy in Mark Breland, a guy who was just looking out for him, looking out for his well-being. If he's going to fire anyone, he really should fire Dea'S. Because in 15 years, Dea'S has not taught Deontay Wilder any boxing technique. Because Dea'S was Deontay Wilder's first trainer. And he still is like his part. I don't know. He's like his half trainer. It's like they have 2 trainers in Deontay Wilder's camp. Mark Breland and Dea'S. 2 trainers. Dea'S was Deontay Wilder's very first trainer. They met in 2005, and in 15 years, Dea'S has not taught Deontay Wilder any boxing technique. Any boxing technique. At least Mark Breland showed Deontay Wilder how to properly throw his right hand. You know the way Deontay Wilder knocks guys the fuck out? It's all because Dea'S, just like Deontay Wilder, was also a big, lanky, type of dude who had a good right hand and who knew how to throw it properly. So you could tell that you could tell that Mark Breland taught Deontay Wilder how to properly throw a right hand because when he was a fighter, when he was in the amateurs, he was known for having a good right hand. So he was the one who taught Deontay Wilder how to properly throw a right hand. So what did Dea'S do? As far as I'm concerned, nothing. Because Deontay Wilder has no technique. So if you think about it, he really should be firing Dea'S. He should be firing him. He shouldn't be firing the guy who taught him how to throw a right hand properly. And he shouldn't be firing a guy who cared enough about him to stop the fight. This is your well-being. Deontay Wilder has like 8 kids. He should be grateful that Dea'S stopped the fight. Not firing him because he stopped the fight. That's absolutely, I just think that's stupid. Because he was saving you from yourself, Deontay. You were losing. Your right hand was not going to bail you out. Talking about that he's a warrior. He's a warrior, but he complains about wearing a 40-pound costume. Get out of here.